Burning seams in plush carpet and burning seams in indoor-outdoor carpet. What's the difference? What do you need to be aware of? And how do we get this done? What is cracking, everybody? It is Carpet Mike here from CarpetExpertBlueprint.com, and in this video, I'm going to break down two different seam styles on two different carpets so you know what to expect from each one. First things first, we're on our standard cheap plush carpet, that good mid-grade that everybody loves to work with because it's easy to stretch, it's easy to seam, and it's easy to get a good result. So first things first, on this doorway seam here, I am just throwing a nice clean edge on the carpet there. Then I'm going to go ahead and mark a couple dots in the other carpet, just tracing that straight edge I just created. And with these little dots here, we're going to fold it back and we're going to play connect the dots on the other side of it. Now, don't worry, if you're a DIY type or a newbie, you can go ahead and throw a straight edge on that. You'll be good to go. I've done this a few times, so I could just go ahead and play connect the dots and trace this out here and still get a good result on the seam. So I'm just going to work my way down the carpet here, lining these dots up with a super sharp blade. Always be careful when you're cutting your seams there. Don't want anybody to get hurt. And if you use a dull blade, your seam will look horrific, so don't do it. Okay, we got this cut out here. We got to cut the final piece of the end. Get that out of the way. Now let's get some seam tape under here so we can put this together. Got my seam tape. Gonna line that up on the seam. I'm gonna fold it under about 2 inches on each side to bump it up onto the tack strips there. Get the other side, line it up. Alrighty, we are good to go. Let's get that seam iron and start putting this together. You want to make sure everything's going to line up too before you start burning it. I was already aware we'd be good on this one, but typically I would line both of them up first just to make sure my cut was clean and even and ready to rock. Everything's good. Grab that seam iron. I'm going to fold back one side, fold back the other side, stick the seam iron in there, and we're going to let that sit there for about 8 to 10 seconds. Let that seam tape burn nice and evenly. And then we're just going to go ahead and slide it an iron's length forward. Sounds like my whole house is collapsing upstairs, but that's just lifestyle going on up there. Alrighty, we're going to slide an iron length forward, blend that seam in, everything's good to go. We're going to let it sit there for another 8 to 10 seconds roughly, melting that seam tape. And tuck in along the door jamb there to kill some time. Everything's good. If you get any strings, you could just take your knife to it and cut those off. And we're going to slide it to the other part of the door jamb, completing this seam here. Blend that section in. Let it sit there for a few more seconds. Then we'll give it the swoop and pull it out. Take your time when pulling it out. You don't want to pull the seam tape with it, creating a big mess of glue on everything. Then just go ahead and put your seam together. Blend it in. Everything's good. That's how you deal with the plush carpets there. Simple, easy, no complaints. You know what I'm saying? Great for DIY types to work with. And let's get into the indoor-outdoor carpet now. So, first things first, indoor-outdoor carpet, there are a couple different strategies, but let's kind of go about it by the books on this one. I'm taking a flathead screwdriver and running it all the way down, spreading the net, followed by my top cutter running down the line I just created there to go ahead and cut it. Now I'm doing the same thing here, run a line with my flathead screwdriver, grab my top cutter, trace the line, good to go. Everything's looking good. Now I'm going to go ahead and line the seam up all the way down. I'm going to take my knife and cut it down just so it's nice and manageable to work with. I don't have to worry about it coming apart or anything like that while I'm burning it together because it's like a 15-foot seam right here. Seam tapes under it. Same exact scenario on this part, just the cut is a little bit different in this video. You know, let the iron sit there 8 to 10 seconds, slide an iron's length forward all the way down to the other side. Take your time. Do not pull any strings on these indoor-outdoor carpets because you have a big old mess on your hands and you don't want it. And that's all there is to it. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll connect with you on the next.